Let's be honest. We all carry within us extraordinary potential. Dreams that could reshape our lives, ambitions that could leave lasting legacies. Yet most of us move through life like sleepwalkers, our brilliance dimmed by invisible chains of self-doubt, distraction, and fear. The ancient Stoics discovered a radical truth 2,000 years ago that modern neuroscience now confirms. Your mind is either your greatest prison or your most powerful weapon. And the key to this transformation lies in your daily thoughts. The battle no one told you about. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor who ruled Rome at its peak while facing unimaginable adversity, left us this crucial insight in his private journals. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Modern psychology validates this ancient wisdom through neuroplasticity, your brain's ability to physically rewire itself based on your thoughts and experiences. Every time you challenge a self-limiting belief push through discomfort. Choose focus over distraction. You're not just behaving differently, you're architecting a new brain. Why your brain betrays you. Evolution hardwired us with a negativity bias. Our ancestors survived by anticipating threats. But in today's world, this biological inheritance manifests as the imposter syndrome that whispers, "You're not good enough." The procrastination that keeps you scrolling when you should be creating. The fear of judgment that silences your authentic voice. The Stoics developed brutal countermeasures, premeditatio malorum, premeditation of evils, visualizing worst-case scenarios to drain fear of its power. Amor fati, love of fate, embracing obstacles as fuel for growth. Memento mori, remember, you must die. Using mortality as motivation. Your 30-day neuroplasticity challenge morning ritual. Min. Write 3 Stoic victories from yesterday. Times you chose courage over comfort. Recite Epictetus's mantra. Circumstances don't make the man, they reveal him. Focus sessions, 90 mind blocks. Use Seneca's hourglass method. Work in 45 mind bursts with 5 mind meditation breaks. Apply Marcus's interrogation to distractions. Is this essential to my purpose? Evening review, 10 min. Journal answers to where did I compromise today? How can I strengthen that weakness tomorrow? What evidence proves I'm growing? The Stoic success spiral. When Navy SEALs train for hellish conditions, they use a technique called micro-commitments, right? Focusing only on the next 5 minutes. The Stoics perfected this 2 millennia earlier. Your transformation begins not with grandiose plans, but with winning these daily mental battles. The 5-second rule. When motivation fades, act before your brain protests. Count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and move. The dichotomy drill. Separate what you control, effort, attitude from what you don't, outcomes, others' opinions. The obstacle journal. Reframe setbacks as training. What is this teaching me? From philosophy to physiology, Harvard neuroscientists recently discovered that consistent Stoic practice thickens the prefrontal cortex, willpower center, reduces amygdala reactivity, fear response, strengthens the anterior cingulate, focus muscle. This isn't metaphor, it's biological alchemy. When David Goggins transformed from 300 LB exterminator to elite warrior, when J.K. Rowling wrote Harry Potter on welfare checks, they were unknowingly using Stoic neuroplasticity. Your invitation to greatness, the door to your best life opens inward. No guru, pill, or motivational quote will do the work for you. As Epictetus, the slave who became a sage, reminds us, first say what you would be, then do what you have to do. Today's action. Identify one mental chain holding you back. Apply one Stoic technique to break it. Comment below with to cement your commitment. The world needs your disciplined mind now more than ever. Will you answer the call? Historical case studies. When Stoicism changed destinies. When life breaks you down, Stoicism builds you back up, not with blind hope, but with the steel of reason, discipline, and resilience. Let's explore 3 real-world cases where Stoic philosophy wasn't just a theoretical framework. It was the difference between defeat and destiny. Admiral James Stockdale's 7-year hell in the Hanoi Hilton. In 1965, Admiral James Stockdale's plane was shot down over Vietnam. He parachuted into the most brutal experience a soldier could endure. 2,114 days of torture, starvation, isolation, and psychological warfare inside the infamous Hanoi Hilton prisoner of war camp. But Stockdale had a secret weapon: Stoicism. Before his capture, Stockdale had studied Epictetus. Inside the prison, his captors controlled everything except his mind. And he clung to the dichotomy of control, a Stoic principle that divides life into 2 categories: what you can control and what you can't. I never lost sight of the fact that ultimately I alone controlled how I responded, Stockdale said later. Stoicism doesn't teach you to survive, it teaches you to choose what kind of survivor you'll be. He resisted not just with silence, but with strategy. He created a tap code system for covert communication. He led the resistance from within, boosting morale and keeping unity. His example inspired other POWs to endure. Stoicism didn't just help him survive, it helped him lead. 2. Cleopatra's comeback from exile to Empress Most. People remember Cleopatra as a queen of glamour and seduction, but at 21 she was neither. Her brother had exiled her to the Syrian desert. Stripped of power, she was presumed dead. Most rulers would have given up. Cleopatra didn't. She embraced a principle Romans hated to admit had power: amor fati, the love of fate. Rather than curse her exile, Cleopatra used it. She built alliances with desert tribes, formed a personal militia, and turned disaster into preparation. A year later, she returned, not as a desperate refugee, but at the head of an army. She marched into Alexandria, reclaimed the throne, and became one of the most powerful women in history. Her exile became her training ground. In modern terms, this is the equivalent of being fired, bankrupt, or cast out, and using that time not to wallow, but to strategize. Thomas Edison's 10,000 failures and a fire in 1914, an explosion tore through Thomas Edison's research laboratory in New Jersey. Decades of work, experiments, prototypes, gone in minutes. His son Charles found him staring at the fire. Expecting devastation, he instead heard, "Go get your mother and all her friends. They'll never see a fire like this again." What fueled that mindset? Premeditatio malorum, a Stoic practice of visualizing worst-case scenarios before they happen. Edison had trained himself to see destruction not as an end, but a beginning. Within weeks, he rebuilt. Not just physically, but mentally. He understood that setbacks were inevitable. What mattered was how fast he moved through them. "Thank God all our mistakes are burned up," he joked. Then he went right back to work. A Harvard Business Review study later revealed that 84% of successful entrepreneurs experience at least one catastrophic failure. What sets them apart is not brilliance, it's stoic endurance. Let's face it, life will test you. It'll hit you with rejection, heartbreak, burnout, failure, and days where even getting out of bed feels like lifting a mountain. The question isn't if adversity will strike, it's when and how you'll respond. That's where Stoicism offers something timeless, practical, and, dare we say it, powerful. Not just philosophy in an old dusty scroll, but a resilient system you can apply today in your real life with real results. We call it the Stoic resilience blueprint. And it starts where you are, with what you have. Step 1. Locate the gift. Obstacles suck. But here's the catch. Inside every obstacle is something incredibly valuable, if you're willing to look for it. The Stoics believed that hardship isn't just a thing to endure, it's a teacher. Marcus Aurelius put it simply, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. But how do you find that hidden lesson when you're knee-deep in stress, loss, or failure? You pause, and you ask one question. What's the lesson here? This tiny journal prompt has saved careers, relationships, and even mental health. Let's say you get fired. The normal response is panic, shame. But the Stoic move? You sit down, open a notebook, and write, what's the lesson here? Maybe it's, I ignored red flags, or I need to build multiple income streams, or even, that job wasn't aligned with who I want to become. Finding the gift doesn't mean denying the pain. It means extracting meaning from it. And when you make this a habit, you stop fearing setbacks. You start mining them for wisdom. Step 2, practice voluntary discomfort. Build resilience before life forces you to. Here's the truth no one wants to hear. If you're always comfortable, you're vulnerable. Stoics understood this deeply. That's why they practiced voluntary discomfort. They didn't wait for pain to find them. They trained for it. They wanted to be ready when it arrived, and it always arrives. So how can you do this in today's world of convenience, comfort, and climate control? Introduce a weekly ritual we call the Stoic Survival Day. Here's what it might look like. No phone, no social media, no distractions. Cold showers in the morning and evening. Skip a meal, or do a full 24-hour fast. Walk or bike instead of driving. Wear simple, even uncomfortable clothes. Why go through all that when you don't have to? Because when you practice discomfort by choice, discomfort loses its power over you. You begin to separate your identity from your cravings. You realize, I can do hard things. I don't need constant pleasure to feel okay. And when a real challenge hits, whether it's a breakup, a job loss, or a health scare, you won't crumble. You'll respond with calm clarity because you've been here before. Step 3. Build your anti-fragile circle. Your environment is stronger than your willpower. No matter how mentally tough you are, your environment will shape you. Period. That's why you need a circle that strengthens you, not just supports you. Think of it like building an anti-fragile triangle around your life. These are the 3 essential pillars. Those ahead of you, mentors, find people who intimidate you in the best way. People who make you think, wow, I've got work to do. They don't need to be personal coaches or celebrities. They might be that friend who reads 10 books a month, or the woman at work who radiates calm no matter the chaos. Study them. Ask questions. Let their mindset infect yours. Those beside you, accountability partners, these are your equals, your allies, the ones in the trenches with you. Start a weekly check-in with someone who's chasing their own goal. Share wins, failures, and what you're working on. Be honest, be blunt, no fluff. The key is mutual accountability. When you know someone's watching, you show up stronger. Those behind you, teach to reinforce. You might not feel like an expert yet, but guess what? You don't have to be perfect to help someone behind you. Mentor a friend. Teach your younger sibling. Share what you've learned online. Teaching forces you to clarify your thinking, and repetition reinforces your mindset. When you build your life around this triangle, you become anti-fragile, a person who doesn't just survive stress but grows from it. Step 4. Death ground commitment. Burn the mental boats. This step is not about discipline, it's about do or die clarity. In ancient warfare, there was a tactic called burning the boats. A general would land his army on enemy shores and then set fire to their ships. No retreat, no backup plan. Fight or die. Modern version, write your "if I quit" to letter. Sit down and write a brutally honest letter to yourself. Describe in painful detail what your life will look like if you give up on your goals. Don't sugarcoat it. What kind of job will you be stuck in? What kind of health will you have? What kind of relationships will surround you? What kind of person will you become? Seal it. Hide it. Only open it when your motivation dies and your excuses start winning. This isn't about guilt. It's about gravity. The gravity of your future. The reality of your path. Because sometimes what pulls us through the fire isn't inspiration. It's desperation. The refusal to go back to a life that numbs us. The Stoics didn't believe in fate as an excuse. They believed in facing fate on your feet. This blueprint is your armor, not just against the world, but against your weaker self. Use it, practice it, teach it, because the world doesn't need more passive consumers of motivation. It needs builders of mental strength. It needs people who can stand still in the storm and smile, and that person can be you.